Good morning and thanks so much for joining in. You're watching Ask Profit on NDTV Profit. My name is Mathew and with me is Smriti Chaudhary. We'll take you through the next half an hour or so of trade. Let's very quickly take you through how the markets are faring right now. And as I look at my screen, you have cuts for the benchmark index of as much as 0.7%, very close to the low point of the day. But the broader markets are off the low point of the day. In fact, you have the mid-cap index that's trading just about flat, down about 0.1% or so. And even more so, that flatness is visible for the broadest index, which is the small cap 250 index. Of course, let's take a look at the advanced decline ratio as well, because that will give you a bit of a perspective on the trend that you're seeing, and that gap between the advances and the declines is narrowing right now. In terms of the sectors that are in focus, you see quite a bit of a crack for the PSU pack, and you have the PSU banking pack as a whole that is the biggest sectoral loser. Nifty Bank also losing a bit of ground today, down over 1% or thereabouts. On the other end of the spectrum, you have media as a pack that's doing not so badly, and you have the IT index, which has seen cuts in the recent past, which is gaining about 0.5% or so. I guess technology seems to be the theme globally after the Nvidia results, and that is being seen in the Asia-Pacific region as well. But Smriti, we're talking about the sugar pack in the focus segment today. Why?
Well, first of all the sugar companies, the sugar stocks are down today after a cabinet decision that came last night. So the government has announced an increase in the FRP prices, which is the fair and remunerative price for sugarcane, and the increase is by 25 rupees. So it is now 340 rupees per quintal. So that's 8% higher than the FRP of sugarcane from the current season. Now, sugar recovery rate currently stands at about 10.25%. And we also, this morning, we spoke to the ISMA president. He said that there's an impact of due to the price hike of 8%, there's approximately an impact of 10,000 crore on the industry as well. If you look at some of the sugar stocks, if you can pull that up, you'll see the likes of Shri Renuka sugars are down to 2%, and Mavana sugar, Rana sugar, all down almost close to 3% in trade. So that's pretty much where we stand on the sugar pack. So considering it's a really regulated place. Now let's introduce you to the guests for today. We have Ashish Maheshwari of Arihant Capital Markets and Vaishali Parekh of Prabhudas Lilladher joining in. Thank you so much to both of you for joining in. And we'll start off with the sugar pack, Ashish. Now, we've seen this increase, and according to ISMA, there's going to be an impact of over 10,000 crore rupees on the industry. How do you see this unfolding for the sugar stocks?
Yes, surely it is negative, and we are also witnessing, like in entire sugar sector as such, stocks are not performing also. And again, the reason is this is election year. One thing we must be clear, and government at no point of time will like that sugar prices should go up, because this is item of general consumption. So I think the entire load of this 10,000 crore need to be borne by the sugar companies. So this is slightly negative for sugar sector as such. Only 7 days is the whatever amount they can sell to for ethanol, etc. is positive, but overall negative for sugar sector. Another thing which I can foresee positive, maybe this is going to be applicable for next sugar season, which will start from October. By the time maybe election will be over and verdict will be clear. So maybe government will allow export of sugar, etc. But this slightly long shot, but in short term, surely negative for the sugar companies.
Understood. All right, so that's the view on the sugar space. Any specific recommendations, Ashish, that you have? Any stocks that you like, or do you stay away, considering the cyclicality?
Yeah, because of cyclicality and the uncertainties involved in the sector, I think this is avoidable. Maybe you can go for companies like Praj Industries, which make machineries, etc., for this sector, instead of taking direct bet on sugar companies.
Okay, fair point. All right, let's jump straight into the queries then. We've got several that have already piled up. I should have mentioned this at the start, by the way. You can watch this on any one of our social media platforms, and you can send the questions to us on chat, or in fact on the WhatsApp number that you can see on the screen right now. And we've got the first question that I'm taking from Shrikant, and he's asking about Devyani International, which he's bought 1,010 shares off at a price of 190, and the share is currently trading at 165.5. He has not specified his holding period, but he's asking whether to hold or to exit. So I'm going to go across to Vaishali on this one. Vaishali, on the charts, how does this one look, and should you hold on at this price?
Well, actually, frankly, this chart is quite weak. I mean, we are just seeing a bounce back. So I guess if he's waiting and we are expecting this bounce to continue, I think 180 should be the trigger point. 180 should be the level that one should watch for. If that level is showing tough resistance, he should be exiting, and or else wait, because it can go towards 200 level. So that is how I think he should plan his trading strategy.
All right. Next up, we're talking about Hero MotoCorp. This one's from Rajesh Maheshwari from Singapore. He bought the stock at an average price of 2,400. So there's a considerable profit there. But the stock has been in a downtrend in the last couple of sessions. In the last 5 sessions, it has lost 7% in trade. Ashish, what would you suggest doing from here on from a longer term perspective? Is it a good time to take some profits off the table?
Yes, I agree. This will be a good time to take some profit off the table, because you are making tons of the money, because the stock low, I remember, was 2,300 and you almost bought around that level. And after touching almost 5,000 rupees, now stock is where we can see some profit taking happening, because a lot of money is being shifted to Bajaj Auto and Force Motor, etc. in this sector compared to Hero MotoCorp. So Hero MotoCorp is a sale in my view, and you can look at Bajaj Auto on some decline, which will be a better bet.
Got it. All right. We've got Tarun Agrawal, who's writing in from Ranchi, and he's asking about JSW Steel versus Tata Steel. Okay, actually, let me read the whole thing. He's asking about Grasim, the fact that it's entered the paint business, and whether or not to buy Grasim from that perspective. And he's also looking at JSW Steel versus Tata Steel. So I guess this is a fundamental question. And Ashish, we've been debating this in the morning as well. It's not like anybody is expecting Asian Paints to be dethroned as the leader in this segment, but incrementally a challenger in the form of Grasim or a couple of other players in the space. Would you bet on Grasim, and which would you pick between JSW Steel and Tata Steel?
Yeah, as far as Grasim and Asian Paint is concerned, I think only the one issue comes when any new entrant with a lot of money comes in the fray. Companies like Asian Paint, they need to part some of their market share to new entrants. And this is something like worrying investors of Asian Paints. And I think it's positive for Grasim Industries. Though Grasim is down quite a bit today, but in my view, at 2,050 rupees, this will be a good buy. Asian Paint is avoid at this price point. As far as JSW and Tata Steel is concerned, I think for quite some time, JSW Steel is moving in a very narrow range. And now, after a long time, we have seen in last trading sessions, the stock almost touched 840, 45 levels compared to Tata Steel, which is almost going nowhere for quite some time. So JSW Steel is a better bet. Keep a price target of 800 rupees to enter in the stock. Maybe in next 3 months, you'll get 900 rupees also.
Understood. Next up, we have a question from Satya, and he's talking about if this is a good time to buy NIIT. Now, this is from a longer term perspective, 1 to 2 years. The stock is, if you look at the last year's performance, it's been on a downturn and has lost 60% from last year. Ashish, would you suggest getting into the stock? Is there any upside, and is there a target that you have on the stock?
This is again a laggard stock if you see the price performance wise, because the kind of a computer education, etc., which was a core of theirs. This is not something that is exciting investors. We have seen a similar performance in AppTech also, where revenues, profit, they are almost at a stagnant level. So NITs avoid, and I think instead of this, you can look at more into frontline IT stock like Birlasoft looks up interesting at this point, as well as Tata Technologies is a good buy.
All right. We've got several short-term queries also coming through, but there's a question from Mohit on IOCL, and he's bought at levels of 77. and his time horizon is of 2 years. This is, of course, part of the oil marketing pack that has done incredibly well in the last couple of months, particularly. The question is, from a perspective of 2 years, would you keep holding Vaishali? How does it look on the charts?
Oh, yes, actually the trend is very strong. Even since the perspective is of 2 years, I'm seeing the longer term time period also. I think it should continue to do well. So having said that, but I would also say that yes, if 150 levels break, then that is negating the view. So that is the view for now, that one can buy, even add more with 150 as support, because now the projected targets that we are seeing would be 220 to 230 from here on. So that is how he should be taking the trade.
All right. Next up, we have a question on YouTube, and this one's from Shyam Sundar Gupta. They want to enter into Infosys and Amara Raja Energy. Now, Vaishali, if there are any buying levels that you would suggest for these two stocks?
Sure. So Infosys, as I said, we are quite bullish on this sector on the whole from here on. And I think the accumulation, such stock should be accumulated because this should be held on in your portfolio for a longer period of time. So I would say for now, 1550 to 1600 acts as a prominent support. So he can also do is as a SIP, keep buying at every decline, because once we see strong momentum, because IT index is yet lagging behind, it needs to participate for higher levels. So I think Infosys will go towards 2000, 2100. So 1550 should be the support and accumulate at every dip. That would be my view for Infosys. Now, let's see, Amara Raja, you said, right? So overall, battery stocks are doing very well, and Amara Raja still has a scope of going towards 1000 levels. So I would say yes.
Just want to clarify, sorry, we're talking about Amara Raja Energy and Mobility.
Oh, does it come as, okay, that is 830, that's the same
right.
thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So yes, the view is the projected target comes to 980 to 1000 levels, and this is currently a good support, but 800 acts as a very good support. So start accumulating, keeping this support as mine.
I've just always thought of this counter as Amara Raja batteries, my bad. All right, we have to slip into a very quick break. Ashish as well as Vaishali, do stay with us, and we'll be back, viewers, before you know it. Do stay tuned. Welcome back. You're watching Ask Profit, and we are in the midst of the query segment. So if you've got a query for us, you can send it to us on any one of our social media platforms, or in fact on that WhatsApp number on your screen right now. The next question I'm taking is from Firoz Ahmed. He's writing in from Hyderabad and asking about Zydus Life Sciences, which he's purchased at a level of 828. Now, he's got 2,000 shares, and he's asking in the context of the buyback that was announced not too long back. The price for the 600 crore buyback has been fixed at 1,005 rupees per share, which is still a considerable premium to the current market price. The question is, Ashish, based on what you're reading of the fundamentals, should you attempt to subscribe to the buyback?
Yes, I think you can give the shares in the buyback once, because whenever prices are low, you can always buy. But still, I doubt, because the buyback issue is the 600 crores. How many shares will go is a question mark. Otherwise, very performant stock, almost at 52-week high. And you must appreciate 600 crore buyback they are doing on 800 crore quarterly profit company makes. So this is a small buyback portion, and again, a blue chip company on any decline should be added in the portfolio.
Next up, we have a question from Sid, and they're talking about Sona BLW. Now, they bought the stock a year ago, and the Q3 numbers were pretty decent. Now, if you want to hold the stock from a mid to longer term perspective, Ashish, are there any specific targets on Sona?
I'd suggest to remain invested here. After a long consolidation phase, the stock has again started performing almost 125, 130 crore kind of profitability is being maintained. And the way automobile companies' sales numbers are going up, these companies are bound to do well. Only thing is, these are the companies which move once or twice in a month. But patience will certainly pay, because company is good. So my target will be around 750 to 800 in this year for Sona BLW.
Let's pull up Hind Petro and see where it currently is trading. And this is a question coming in from Sanjay. He's asking about whether to hold or book profits. The stock is currently trading at 530 or thereabouts. And he has bought at levels of 250. Hindustan Petroleum is the name of the counter. And Vaishali, based on the charts, what would you suggest that he should do?
Say the stock is really run up one way, and little bit of retracement is of course the way the stock moves. So if 500 levels are held on, I don't think there is any threat to this stock. But if 500 levels break, then I think he may book partial profit. So I would say keep a trailing stop loss, or keep 500 as your stop loss.
Okay. Next one is on mobile. This one's from Naman Deora, and he bought the stock at a slightly elevated levels of 110. The stock is currently trading at 84 rupees per share. Now, his time horizon in the stock is 6 months, Vaishali. What would you suggest Naman to do with it?
So the trend is definitely quite weak on mobile. It has been on our radar, and I think on mobile, on weekly, monthly, all is showing a negative momentum. But I would say that if he's held on for so long, since it's already an oversold zone, wait for a bounce. Keep a stop loss of 80. If 80 levels break, then of course it calls for a lot of weakness. But for now, just hold and exit and bounce. Maybe he can see a bounce up coming up to 100. That would be the level to check.
All right, Vikram Prajapati is writing in from Anand, Gujarat, and he's asking about SR Shipping, not something that we talk about very often, Vaishali, but this is a stock that he's bought at levels of 11 and a significant quantity at that, 10,000 shares. He's wondering what to do at the current market price. Not significant, volumes are 143,000 for what I can see on the screen. Should he exit at this point?
I don't think so. Keep stop loss of 26, because anyways he's in gain. So 26 should be taken as a stop loss, because if the stock moves past 30, currently it is at a resistance level. So if it moves past 30, in all likelihood, this can go to 35, 38 levels. So I think stop loss of 26 and hold for a target of 35.
All right. Next up, we have a question on Natco, and this one's from Babu. They have held on the stock since IPO, Ashish, and...
No. Sorry, my bad. This is Coal India that he's asking. Natco we had taken earlier. because I remember having taken Babu's question. This is on Coal India, and he's saying, considering the recent correction, can he buy for the medium term? So let's take that across to Ashish. Ashish, what's the view on Coal India?
Yes, I think decent correction has already taken place in the stock, where a lot of brokerages have come out with a report earlier and given 550 to 600 targets also. But I think the lower e-auction prices just spoil the mood. And overall, there is some profit taking which is happening in PSU has brought the stock down, prices down. But looking at the profitability, there's Coal India is having and the positive outlook for power sector, I don't think so it will go down further. So 430, 435 will be good level to start accumulating Coal India. I think now downside is very limited here.
All right, got it. Next up, we're talking from a very short-term perspective, Vaishali. This is 3 months. The two stocks are JBM Auto and Electra. What kind of buying price, buying levels can you give for these two stocks?
I think JBM Auto currently also it looks very good, but I think keep a level of 1980. So 1980 should be acting as a strong support level. So either he can keep that as a support level and buy at every decline, or keep that as a stop loss. So JBM Auto overall the trend is very strong. So I think better to buy, since it's so run up, buy in trenches. So 1980 acts as a good support.
Okay, a couple of counters here on the fundamentals, and we've got Amol Tulse from Pune who's asking about this, and Patanjali and Life Insurance Corporation of India. Patanjali Foods has been bought at levels of 650 and LIC is bought at 883. Life Insurance Corporation of India, of course, is moving past of its issue price and listing price and holding about the 1,000 level. On the fundamentals though, Ashish, would you hold on to these two counters?
Yes, I like to remain invested in both these counters, because the way these companies are growing and the kind of numbers which are coming in Patanjali Food along with LIC. Now a lot of institutional participation is also building up in both these stocks. LIC, my target will be 1,300 in this year, and along with Patanjali will be around 1,900, because both these sectors are quite promising and these are market leaders in their particular area. So remain invested, or even on correction add more.
Next up is from Nityanand Deshmukh, and we're talking about NHPC from a 6 to 12 months perspective. Now, is this the right time to buy? There's some weakness in the stock in NHPC. If you look at the last 5 trading sessions also, it's down about 3%. Vaishali, any specific, first of all, would you suggest buying into it at this juncture? And if that's a positive answer, then what are the levels that you should buy into?
I think so. Actually, after this stock making a high of around 114 levels, it has just come to a little bit of a corrective move. But I think the trend is quite okay. So this is the level that he can start buying, because once the stock moves past 114, 115 levels, I think this will give, again, great returns. So keep a support of 80, and right now we are at 91. Start buying from here.
Got it. All right. Vaishali, thanks so much for that. And Ashish as well, thank you so much for joining in and for answering all of the questions that you did. A few of you, of course, I have said that I will get your question answered, but unfortunately, as you can see, we're completely out of time. I've pinned a few of those chats and we'll ping you tomorrow when we start the session. But like I said, completely out of time on this particular edition. Lots more coming up over the course of the day. Do stay tuned. This is NDTV Profit.